We're
We
moving.
met in Atlantic City in 1941 at a Christian Endeavor convention, which my aunt, Edna Green, she headed the high schoolers from D.C., and we went to Atlantic City and went in a parade there. And Kitty and I made dresses for the parade. Well, I guess we were in red, white, and blue dresses, different ones. And that was 1941. But my Aunt Edna Green was ahead of that.
Okay, this is Dorothy talking, and we're here with my brother, Wallace Eugene Shipp, at his place in Harrisonburg, Virginia, making this video on the 29th of January of Dorothy and Wallace. He's in his super chair, which elevates him up and all. And he's got nurses that come in. He's 92, and Dorothy is 90. And they're going to tell us a little bit about their early life so that we'll have it on record as to what they were doing when they had hanky-panky when they were teenagers. You know what hanky-panky is, Dorothy?
I think we were both 22, so we were both old enough.
Where did he first meet you? Were you in a typing pool or something in the government?
My aunt Edna Green was the head of the Christian Endeavor of Washington, and he was one of the people that was in a Christian Endeavor group from Palisades Church.
Palisades Community Church? Is that where you met?
Absolutely.
Huh. That's where Patsy and I met.
Well, I really
the young adults.
I really met him in 41 at Atlantic City when we went to a convention in Atlantic City that my aunt headed up.
Oh. This last trip, I was just over Atlantic City. There was nobody there. The boardwalk was completely empty.
Well, I guess it was.
It was the middle of January. There's nobody there.
No.
But I looked at it and went all the way up to the other beaches, and then came on around and came back out through Dover and saw the Air Force Base. So Wallace, when did you first catch an eye of her?
I guess we met before then because Annie had Christian Endeavor meetings at Palisades and different places. And I went along with her. I was out of high school at that time.
So did you go to the dances at the church? The young adult dancing? They had dancing at Palisades Church.
I don't think so. Yeah, they may have had it, but we didn't go there.
Well, Evelyn was quite active there at Palisades.
Yes. You were living on 5421 Carolina Place, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was living there too. That was our second home. We first lived on First Street in Northwest Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I recently drove by there, and those houses are really fixed up nice. They have little gardens out in front, and they have flowers in between the sidewalk and the streets. You would never know it's the same neighborhood, but it had bars on all the windows I guess. But it looked like they was very well taken care of.
That's Rhode Island Avenue?
Yeah.
No? What is it?
First Street, isn't it?
Yeah, First Street just above.
Oh, First Street's different from
just above Rhode Island Avenue.
Where was Taylor's account? Taylor's.
It was on Rhode Island Avenue.
And around the corner was where Grandmother lived, Grandmother Shipp.
Yeah.
On V Street, right?
Right.
And that's where Granddaddy died of super high man, 400 and some pounds, 450 pounds. And the story goes that they had to take the window out of the row house in order to get him out, and had to have a special box built for him to be buried in because he was so big. So Wallace, you can't get to be 450 pounds.
No,
You got to lose a little weight there on that tummy.
yeah,
Okay, and so now we're at Caroline Place. You met Dorothy, and you got married. I guess I went to the funeral. I guess I went to the wedding.
We had our wedding in Annie's 1856.
right, yeah.
Where was the wedding?
Upshur Street at my aunt's house.
Oh yes, I remember your aunt had a beautiful white house
Yeah.
on Upshur Street.
And we had the wedding in the backyard.
Yeah, she was quite a lady. Yeah, we went over there quite a few times to see her.
Yeah. She was head of the Christian Endeavor.
What was her full name? On Upshur Street, what was her name? Green?
Edna?
Was it
Yeah.
Green?
Yeah, she was a Ritchie, but she married a Green. She was my father's sister.
Your father's sister.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
Edna Green married Lawrence Green. He was from
No,
Carolina.
and Dorothy, you are Dorothy Ritchie Shipp. What's your middle name?
Virginia.
Virginia. Oh, that's
Born
what,
in Pennsylvania. They call me Virginia. They want to get back in Virginia.
you're born in Pennsylvania, Dorothy?
Yeah, Lebanon County.
Well, I don't understand that because you're living on your grandparents' farm here in the farmhouse. So they left here and went up to Pennsylvania?
Well, they went up to Pennsylvania before I was born.
Oh,
And
what part of Pennsylvania?
Lebanon County.
But they're buried down here in a church graveyard,
Yeah, Mount
just
Zion.
just miles from you here.
Mount Zion.
Now, Ritchie is spelled different than the Ritchie that Ken and Robin are married to, right?
Yeah, they spell E-Y, I think, or I-T-C,
How do you spell your Ritchie?
or I-T-C-H-I-E.
Uh-huh. So it's a little different.
Yep.
Where do you think they come from?
Well, Daddy, they're near Singer's Glen. I think his father lived up there at Singer's Glen.
Uh-huh. And Wallace is Wallace Eugene Shipp, and his father is Walter Eugene Edward, or not, Shipp, we don't know. And the Shipp name is English, and the genealogy shows them going back about, my genealogy shows them going back about 5 generations. And the McKays go all the way back to Scotland, where they were born. And my genealogy records are up on the internet under lds.org / genealogy / Ralph Shipp. And those files are available for anyone to see in the public domain. Large contributions were made by my daughter, Deanne Shipp Buck, and my uncle Hannah McKay, who lived in Boston, contributed to the file a great deal, and we've been adding to it along as we go, including the contemporaries. So if you want to see them, you can go up and look at them on that website, and if you want to add to them or subtract from them, you can call me up at my phone number is 704-996-1800, and I can give you the password to get in so you can change or add to your particular line. All of my siblings' spouses' lines need added to, including Dorothy's here. We don't have a lot of information about your family line as far as my file is concerned. So you have to get your younger generation to get in there and do some adding to the genealogy on your side of the family. Well, enough for the plug for genealogy. Now back to, you lived on Carolina Place,
Yeah.
And you remember that episode on Carolina Place where we had the Rose Bandit, Wallace?
I heard about that now that you mentioned it. Yeah.
You don't remember the Rose Bandit?
No, it's familiar.
Yeah, he would go around stealing houses in the Palisades there, and he'd leave a rose when he left, and knowing that's where he got the Rose Bandit. And the police were looking for him extensively one night, and he found our house on Carolina Place had a walkout basement, and he went into the basement area of the house and hid himself. And Gloria supposedly went down the stairs, and he later told detectives he saw her go down the stairs and back up again, didn't do anything with her. Then he tried to make an escape, and he stole one of the bicycles, and he got out as far as the back porch and decided that wasn't a good idea. So he stole the 1937 Packard, and he found the keys to that. And he stole the Packard car out of the garage, which was down in the back, and took off and went down to North Carolina, and they captured him in North Carolina. And he wasn't too smart a guy because the old Packard had a fake glove compartment on the left side as well as the real one on the right side. So he thought the left side one was a glove compartment, so he pried it open to see if he could get anything out of the glove compartment. So that's a little tidbit. You don't remember that Rose Bandit, huh? Okay, so you met Dorothy, and you got married in the garden at Mrs. Green's house.
Yeah.
And then where did you go live?
We were living over on near the soldiers' home.
We were married while I was in the service.
You lived in a home or something? You rented a house?
Yeah, apartment. Over near
You
the
rented an
soldiers' home.
apartment.
Yeah.
Somebody by Soldier's Home over that way somewhere, huh?
Well, the lady was all right with us renting if we didn't have children. Naturally, we had children. We had Gene.
And Wallace, were you working at that time now?
In school.
You're going to school.
Going to school.
You went to Georgetown University and graduated from that as, what was your degree in, Wallace? Civil engineering?
No, Bachelor of Science.
Bachelor of Science. Okay. And then, did you go to work for the government after that? No.
No. After I got out of the service, I worked at Woodard and Loafers.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, for a while.
Oh, yes, that's right. I remember that. And later your mother worked for Woodard and Loafers
Yes, she
quite a
did.
bit. And your
Ed worked there too.
Ed Causey, Evelyn's husband, worked for Woodard and Loafers.
Yes, he
Great,
worked in credit.
long time. Retired from there, I guess.
He worked in credit.
Credit, yeah, credit department. And what did you do? You worked in the sales or?
Worked in pots and pans.
Pots and pans. Oh,
They
that's
call
good.
them pots and pans.
I forgot what the guy's name was. Brenda.
And Dorothy's at home.
No,
Is Dorothy working?
Cornwell.
Dorothy working at that time?
I think I did.
Cornwell was the guy's name that
Yeah,
ran
head
the
of
pots
kitchen.
and pans. Kitchen.
kitchen room. Yeah, I was working.
Okay, so you're both working, living in an apartment. And so how long after you were married did your oldest son come along, Gene?
Well, he was born in 47, the end of 47.
47. And
we were
when
married in 46.
42? That's 3 years. Huh. And his name is Eugene.
Wallace Eugene Shipp Jr.
Oh, Wallace Eugene Shipp Jr.?
That's what
I
he is.
didn't know he was a junior.
We call him Gene. His middle
We
name-
always go by Gene.
Well, His middle name is Eugene.
And he's a lawyer in the Washington system. He's in charge of a group of lawyers, as a matter of fact, right now, and getting ready to retire pretty soon. And he has several children, three children, and Donna has one
daughter.
One daughter, so you end up with 4 grandchildren. And then how many great-grandchildren do you have there?
Do we have any?
You have,
Do we?
how many great-grandchildren? Your girl out in California has some, right?
2 months.
She has one child.
One.
And
What about your other grandson? I mean, granddaughter or grandchildren. Don't they have some children?
well, Donna has one child.
But she's not married yet, so she can't have.
Yeah. She's married.
Oh yeah, but that's your grandchild. We're talking about great grandchildren.
No, she doesn't have any great grandchildren.
Oh no, but you do. You have one. Jean's daughter
Yeah.
has some
Well,
grandchildren.
Kelly has what, 3?
3. I think that's right. Yeah, I think you got
And,
3.
Kim has 1.
Okay, so you got 4. 4 great grandchildren.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because Josh just got married.
Okay,
last year.
back to your little apartment stay, and then where'd you go after that?
After we were Coleman Manor. Where were we last?
Did you go to Coleman Manor then?
No.
We went to Coleman Manor before, didn't we? Or was
I think probably went in the reserves. I was in the reserves, and we got called up.
Yeah, because your mother didn't like it because we were going.
You were in the Navy Reserve.
Yeah.
Marine reserves.
Huh?
Marine Corps reserves.
Marine Corps?
Yeah.
I thought you were in the Navy in the war. You
It's
transferred?
Navy, yeah.
Oh, it was one unit then, I guess. I don't know. Separate unit now. It was one unit then doing the.
They have VMF 321. It's a
You were a pharmacist mate.
Yeah.
You stuck needles in people.
not always.
Well, you gave him shots.
Yes.
That's sticking needles.
And you served during the war, in the active part of the war. You went ashore at several of the landings, best of my knowledge. What landings did you go ashore on as a medic?
Around 7 or 8.
Where?
Where different islands.
Different islands in the Pacific.
Yeah, one was Marshalls,
Marshalls.
Iwo Jima.
Well, how did this transport come about? How did you get on that? The
Well,
It
APA
was out of California.
35.
35.
Yeah, it was
You
built in California.
Yeah, were you a guard or something on that boat?
No, I was in the medical.
Oh, it was a troop transport, right? And they had a medical staff on board.
Yeah.
So you'd go ashore and they'd bring the wounded back to the boat. And
When you go ashore, you stay ashore.
okay.
Well, you picked up
Yeah.
people that.
And you served in the war and you got several medals. I know you got the Victory Medal, you got the Pacific Theater Medal, you got the Good Conduct Medal. What else you got?
Bronze Star.
Bronze Star. Because you were wounded in action? Is that Bronze Star? Or you just...
To be wounded in action is Purple Heart.
Yeah, Purple Heart.
That's what your father had.
Yeah.
Father had a Purple Heart.
His father.
The story I heard about my father, I don't know if there's any validity to it or not, but he was in the First World War, and he served in the infantry with a rifle, and he was in the trenches, and they ordered him up and over the trenches, as they did in that day and age, to charge the enemy, and he came out of the trenches and went up on the top, and the shell exploded in front of him and hit him in the eye, and he fell back down in the trenches and never fired his rifle, and that was the end of the war as far as he was concerned. And he got the Purple Heart for that. So that's a little story I heard about him. I don't know if there's any truth to it or not. Anyway, where are we now? We're up to, you moving in Coleman Manor?
Didn't stay that long.
You're, wait a minute, are we out of the war yet? We're out of the war.
There's 2 wars.
2 wars?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Vietnam War, when they called you up again, you mean? Is that the one you're talking about?
Not Vietnam.
You're discharged out of the
From the Navy.
The Navy, and you went over to Anacostia to get in the Air Reserve. Weekend warrior, and you talked me into doing it, and I went over there, tried to get over air sickness, and I couldn't. Every time I got in the airplane, I got sick. Torpedo dive bomb. I was a radio operator in that, and I got deathly sick, and I gave up completely on that and got out. Meanwhile, they had the Korean War, and you, being in the reserve, they called you up right out of your business, and you had to go to California to put shots into people, right?
He never got sent out, because Gene and I went with him.
Oh, you did?
Yep, when he went to California.
And so you just stayed in California during the Korean War? Or no, during the Vietnam, no, what was it, Korean War?
Korean.
Yeah, Korean War, the first one. Then you finally got discharged out of that. Have you ever gotten discharged out of that? They never discharged me from my my reserve. I don't know.
Well, you can write and ask for it.
I should write and ask for back pay. They owe me a lot of back pay. Excuse me. They swore me in all over again because I got discharged. So when I went over to Anacostia, they swore me in all again, but I went on inactive duty, and I never heard anything more from them. I don't know whatever happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I might still be in it as far as they're concerned. So anyway, now we're up at the point where you got out of the second Korean War, and you come back, and is that when you're in the government now, right? You're in the government, starting working in the government. You're out of Wood and Loafers.
Worked at Wood and Loafers.
Yeah, but that was before that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you went into government for managing maintenance of the buildings.
Yeah.
You were GSA.
GSA, maintenance of buku buildings in Washington, D.C., meaning a whole lot of buildings.
Also in Pennsylvania and...
in Pennsylvania, too?
Yeah.
All right, now,
West Virginia.
when does this other daughter come along?
Other daughter?
Yeah, Donna.
What's her birthday?
You know
I have
that?
to even look it up.
You know, we have to look at the genealogy to find out when Donna came along.
Yeah.
Donna?
In November, wasn't it?
No, she's October the 5th.
Okay.
What's Donna's full name? Donna?
She's Donna Lynn.
Donna Lynn Shipp.
Now she's Aliana.
Huh?
She took her husband's name before Dorothy.
Well, she kept her ship name to her professional career.
Yes, she did.
Right. She graduated from the university as a horticulturist, right?
What? Horticulturist? Okay.
Horticulturist, dealing with plants and all that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she's into, plants. And she lives down the road here, about 3 blocks on the original Ritchie farm, and
Yeah.
the farmhouse is there, but she's in a nice new brick house down there.
Well, she's up on the hill. You can
Yeah.
go to the curve.
That was the house of Kelly, Dorothy's sister, right?
Yeah, Catherine.
And which you ended up purchasing from her, plus all the land. So how much land do you have here now? How much? 60-some acres?
I don't know. They
Up on the hill, on the mountain, overlooking the valley, looking over towards Skyland Drive. Beautiful view. And beautiful house built on the hill with a walkout basement, which Gene and his family have in the lower level.
apartment in the bottom.
They have a suite down there and all that they live in. Now, where are we? Have we moved to Colma Manor yet?
No, we're past Coleman Manor.
Oh, okay.
This is a new house. We were here.
Okay, now wait a minute. You're in Colma Manor, and then you went to Manning Street from there?
Didn't we? What do you mean, no?
I think you did.
We went to Bandit Street because you were called up for the reserves.
No, that's earlier. All right, we're in Manning Street. I think you went to probably Manning Street.
Where?
Manning Street. Hello. We're making a video here of these two for posterity purposes. Anyway, you got out of you're in your big old house that you bought on Manning Place. What's the address? 54?
5319 Manning Place.
Say that again?
5319
Manning, M-A-N-N-I.
Manning Place, which is just right off of
Garfield Boulevard.
MacArthur Boulevard, which used to be, before they renamed it from MacArthur, what did that thing called? That was called, the viaduct is
Conduct Road.
the viaduct is underneath it. That brings the water into Washington, D.C. What was the name of it before MacArthur?
Conduit.
Conduit Road, yeah, because of the conduit underneath of it,
In the middle.
in the middle of the road. And the water going from the Potomac River down to the filtration plant, which is down below them. And then goes all the way over to Washington, D.C., the First Street on the Potomac River for the Washington water supply. All right, now you're at Manning Place, and what did you do there?
We bought the house.
You bought the house. You refurbished the house. You worked on the
We fixed
house.
it up.
You worked on the house. You worked on the house. You worked on the house.
We did a lot of work on that place. That was a mess.
It was a mess.
It was.
And it's a beautiful house with gardens, which Dorothy had all her flowers all the way around it. They had an old garage in the back,
Yeah, on the alley.
which
Still there.
still there?
A metal.
I thought someone said he went up there and it was torn down.
No, I don't. Well, the last I knew, it was still there. I don't know.
It had corrugated
Metal roof.
metal roof.
metal.
Yeah,
All of it was metal.
all metal.
Because I painted it.
It had an alley behind it.
I did.
Yeah, Washington, D.C. was good for alleys. Every house always had alleys all
You
over the
put your
place.
trash back there, and the trashmen came down through there and picked it up.
I guess we had an alley on First Street. I don't remember it. I'm sure we
Yeah, I
had it.
think they did.
Yeah, we had an alley because they were row houses and they had to have something to
They
get
had. Yeah, I think.
real long, thin lots. All right, so now we're at the old house that you lived in for umpteen years. How long, you think?
Manning Place.
Manning Place.
I guess I could look at some books and find out.
50 years, probably. Huh?
Could be.
You just had a wedding anniversary. What was your wedding anniversary? Didn't you just have you had a 90th birthday? What was you? Didn't you just have a wedding anniversary?
What else?
Yes, we did.
How many years old?
We're over 50.
Oh, now come on, more than 50.
I know.
Patsy and I were married 62 years.
Well, ours must be.
Oh, you've been married more than 52 years. Well, you said 47. You got married. That's 53, and here we are at 14. 53 and 14 is 60. I don't know, 60.
It's more than 60.
64 or so.
Yeah, it's up. It's up there.
Yeah, you got to look that up. Put that in the record, cause don't do it now.
Oh, my books are right there.
No, you can't do it now. We're almost
Okay.
finished. We've done this for 30 minutes, and I'm not sure how many. Wallace, you're not talking enough, though. We want to get something on record about you. What do you remember most about your career? Keeping the Pentagon floors polished. Because that was your last assignment, wasn't it? Taking care of the Pentagon?
No, I worked with the night force, cleaning.
Wasn't the last thing you worked on the Pentagon?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
We
And
got
you
transferred to the.
and you had to keep those floors polished with all those crazy military walking around the Pentagon.
Well, he was head of the
Head of the maintenance.
people. Yeah, I guess.
Head of the maintenance for the Pentagon building. And you retired out of there, and they gave you a big gold watch,
They gave him
a big plaque.
with
No watch.
dollars all around.
Yeah.
And you were there 52 years or something? How many?
Quite a few.
I bet you've been married more than 62. We'll look it up afterwards, because I was married 62, and I got married in 74, and you said you got married in 74.
No, we were married for them.
Huh?
I think we were married before then. Got married, what year?
46.
46 instead of 47. Okay. So, you know what? That's 54 years plus 14 is 68 years. You guys have been married a long time. You just don't know it.
We've been having so much fun with you.
I think you've been married forever.
Got married
All
46.
right. Okay. Anything else you want to say about this wonderful video here that we made? 33 minutes. You aren't talking much, Wallace.
No,
How do you like your chair?
it's comfortable.
Remote control.
This is a good chair. I don't know.
It brings you up.
Somebody boarded that.
I don't remember where we got it.
All right, we're gonna
People that sell things like this.
We're going to sign off on this. We're going to put this up on the internet, so you'll be in glorious the view of everyone's view. So you'll be.
And I would get calls from people that you haven't heard from for a long time. Truth.
All right. Very good. This is it. Bye-bye.